All right. Hello, everyone. Excuse me, and hello, Emily. Nice to see you again.
Hello, nice to see you too. How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty fine. I think I cannot hear you very well. Can you speak again, please?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's better. Now it's
Okay.
better. All right. So, Emily, before we continue with our, let's say, conversation, I'm just going to make a short introduction of what we are going to do today, and then you may introduce yourself because I'm not really good at introducing people. Anyway, so hello everyone, and welcome at our event. Today we are going to be with Emily Zakak, if I'm not mispronouncing your name, right, Emily?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Okay, so Emily is a cybersecurity associate at Cenovate. Is that how it's the company is pronounced? All right.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I do have my pronunciation problems sometimes. Well, that's it. We are going to talk about cybersecurity and beyond that, of course. We even will touch some topics that are related even to, LinkedIn growth, networking, and maybe even some advice for people who want to get into cybersecurity. So, Emily, for people who do not know you, they do not know me as well, probably. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Emily Zakak. Um, I'm a cybersecurity associate at Cenovate. That just means that I help with like the daily cybersecurity operations there. I am a senior currently at San Diego State University, where I'm studying computer science. So I have one more semester and I'll be finished with that. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
All right. So I mean, you mentioned that you are a student, and since you are studying computer science, you have a lot of options, right? I mean, maybe 20, 30, 40 different career paths that you could follow, according to your interest. So, why cybersecurity then? What got your interest? Why did you decide to pursue it as a career?
That's a great question. So when I first started my computer science degree, I didn't really know what I even wanted to do. Like when I even started high school, I just knew that I liked technology and I liked learning more about technology. I even took the IT pathway in my high school. So that then led me to pursue technology. So I knew that give me like a broad overview and I would like learn a lot of bits and pieces of the information that I needed. Around like my sophomore year, I realized that I wanted to actually figure out what branch I wanted to go into. So I even went to the artificial intelligence club and I found that it wasn't that much of an interest for me. But I went also to the cyber defense team meetings and I really thought that it was interesting. I did a little bit more research on it and I realized that there really is a need for cybersecurity professionals and for more um, skills in cybersecurity to really bridge that skills gap. So that is what basically led me to pursue cybersecurity because I knew I wanted to use technology to help people. Um, so that is a little bit about why I chose cybersecurity.
I probably a bit of money, right? Maybe. No, just kidding. So guys, I mean, because you are watching us live, and I have prepared a lot of questions, but my questions may be a bit boring. So, in case that you have any questions for Emily or for me, you can see the questions and answers part there. So you can ask any question. You don't have to, wait for us to finish our conversation. I mean, you can ask anytime. We'll check the questions and they'll try to answer them. Usually, when questions come from your side are a bit more interesting because as I mentioned, my questions may be a bit boring, like a I mean, depending on the topic. So yeah, just you can ask here, or if you have any questions on YouTube too, because this is being live streamed on YouTube, then you can ask questions there. I cannot see them now, but my friend Sam can see them, so he will just pass those questions to us. So that was all for now. Now, Emily, I want to come back to you. From when we check your, well, let's not resume maybe. I mean, when we check your LinkedIn account, we could see that you have been a team member of San Diego State University's cyber defense team, right? If I'm not, if I have the right information. So can you share like some of your experience there? What makes that it interesting, if it is, of course.
Absolutely. The cyber defense team is very interesting. Why I found it really interesting is that it's just like a big community of like-minded people that all want to like their end goal is to help people. They want to help people through technology. They want to make the world a more secure place. So it's amazing in that they do a lot of labs. There's a lot of like participation there, meeting new people. Like it's always an amazing experience being there and being part of the cyber defense team. So it's been a great experience overall. Recently, I haven't been able to go that much just because I have school, I have classes, as well as work. So I haven't really been that much a part of it as of late. But next semester, I am hoping to get back into the cyber defense team because it's a really amazing community and they're just amazing people.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. Now we do have questions, and I'm really proud of that I don't have to do all the work. The first one, I mean, you can check the questions too, right? You can see them as far as I know. The first question is from Chance Brown, who is telling that you are killing it, Emily. Good. Uh, so
Thank
thinking
you.
back, what helped you most to get a cyber job? Okay, that's an interesting question if you want to answer to that.
That is a great question. Sometimes I even ask myself that question as well with the job market just like being so difficult to get in, like those entry level jobs, you see that, hey, you need 3 to 5 years of experience to get into an entry level role. It's like, where am I supposed to get that? But I really believe that what helped me get that position in cybersecurity is my resume. I really felt that I was a game changer when someone in my network told me to put those transferable skills onto my resume. So, of course, we all do a lot of things in our daily lives, and we might not realize that those skills are transferable to cybersecurity. For example, communication, stress management, leadership, like all these different transferable skills that you can apply to cybersecurity. So I put those on my resume because they really show that I can still do it. Like all that cybersecurity really takes is the need to learn the tools and the different skills, the different technologies as well. But to really have all of those transferable skills to back it up, that is when I feel like it's really a game changer for everyone.
Okay, thanks. And then there are three questions from Kiara Stone. Again, sorry if I mispronounced the names, okay? I mean, I apologize all the time. I'm not really good with them. I think you can just, if you want, pack them into just one because the question is pretty similar to each other. So can you please read the questions and answer to them if you want? The questions from Kiara.
Yeah, let me read it. So how did
So
I
we
find
can
my
go with the
first job?
certifications, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So my certifications currently, I feel that I don't necessarily have any what people would call noteworthy certifications like Security Plus, A Plus, Network Plus. I haven't really gotten any of those. There are certifications that I have gotten through courses, as well as I'm also Okta certified. So learning those different technologies and getting the certifications for those products, those are the certifications that I have mostly gotten during my career.
You still have
What's
a lot of time for the rest, right? Because you're still a
Absolutely.
student. Yeah. So
Absolutely. I'm trying to finish my degree first before I really get into getting those certifications and studying for them as well.
okay, okay, thanks for sharing that. And then they say, oh, by the way, you can see the question. If they say question that you do not feel comfortable to answer, you don't have to. Okay, not all the questions you may want to answer, right? Including mines. Now, there's another question from James. Can you please see if you want to answer to that? Yes, if no, we can continue with our conversation.
James, that is a good question, but I feel that you kind of have to really go and explore those different fields in cybersecurity. There's really, I would say, two different categories, but there's like probably three, like the defense side, the offense side, and then a mix of both. So you can probably go do your research on the defensive roles as well as the offensive roles and see which one most resonates with you. If you really like breaking into things, I would say go offensive. If you want to go like be on the monitoring side and responding and really protecting infrastructure, I would say go on the defense side. But it's all about exploration and figuring out what your interests are.
Okay, thanks for that. And I believe it's time for me to be able to ask a question since you answered them all. There's something really interesting which helped me to get a job. Okay, so just to say something really shortly about myself, I was part of Clarusway. I was a student, finished a full stack web. Let's say a full stack boot camp, and after that, in a short period of time, I found a job in testing. And the fact that I could speak several languages helped me to get this job. Okay, I mean, it's not the primary reason, but it helped me, especially with the communication. As mentioned by you in our previous conversation, you are a trilingual, right? You speak three different languages. So, as a person who can speak this language, so first of all, do they help you or do you think they will help you with your career in the future? At the same time, like, I don't know, maybe does it help with the fact that the way how you communicate with people? I mean, knowing extra languages. So, what can you share about that part? And I'm talking about normal languages, not programming languages,
Mhm.
just to
Yeah.
clarify.
So when it comes to multiple different languages, like I know Arabic and Aramaic as well. I don't really see them fitting into my career journey so far. Maybe in the future they will potentially come in handy. Um, but I think it's always good to know multiple different languages. Like when it comes to writing those languages, um, I'm like very beginner level, but I am like fluent in it when it comes to really comprehending like during a conversation. Um, so yeah, I'm not really using those languages currently, but I still do like to point it out, especially because I like to bring like that culture. Like I always like to bring my culture into things. Like I am Jordanian on my dad's side and Assyrian on my mom's side, and I am always proud of that. They came to America with like basically nothing, so I don't like to just ignore that part of myself, if that makes sense. So that's why I always like to point that out.
Right. All right. Maybe I thought that. I mean, knowing Arabic, since you are in the United States, maybe it may not be very helpful. But if in some case that your company has, I don't know, the company or the companies that you're going to work in the future had their bases in the Middle East, especially in the Gulf countries where the money is. Yeah, that may be really helpful in the future. I don't know, but I really believe that the
Absolutely.
languages can be. Okay, so there's a question from someone who doesn't really have a name. I just see an ad sign. Can you see that question? Do you want to answer to that? So the question is for new college grads, is it better to have a computer science degree or a cybersecurity degree?
That is a great question, and I am probably not. that qualified to answer it, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I would say a computer science degree is probably more useful just because of the experience that you get with different like technologies. Like for example, during my computer science degree, we've had to take different classes like machine learning, operating systems, whereas if you're taking like a cybersecurity degree, you're probably only zeroing in on the cybersecurity aspect and all of those pieces. So if you're probably looking to be um, more technical, like more on the technical side, I would say definitely probably go with a computer science degree, but then also do your own self-learning with cybersecurity and getting those certifications as well. So probably do both of them. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't complete a computer science. I don't have a computer science degree. Mine is in communications. But if you ask me, people always say that the degree doesn't matter. Well, if you study well, it does. I mean, it helps a lot, especially with the starting part. Yeah, thanks for answering to that question. Now, there's another question. This is not for you, it's for me. Will we get certificate after this webinar? No. I mean, this is not about certification, and I think that is going to help you. By the way, the name Leo Trim, that sounds a really Albanian name. Are you from Albania? I'm going to answer in Albanian if you are, because it's a very common name there. And there's another question from Ian. If you want to answer to that, of course. But if you want to answer the question, please read it loudly and then.
So what do you think about doing the compliance side of cybersecurity? Are they less coding involved if we work towards learning more about GRC and compliance matters? I believe that it is a lot less coding involved. Um, I'm not too familiar on the compliance side, but that has to do a lot with like regulations and probably more on the law side. So if you're interested in doing that, that is basically what GRC is about. If there is some coding involved, it probably won't be too much though.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for answering that. I didn't know what I could say to that question. Leo Trim has replied to me. Yes, I am in fact from Kosovo. I just say something very shortly. Mirë se erdhe Lotrim. Nuk ka lidhje fare me certifikatën kjo, po mund të më shtosh në LinkedIn, bëjmë ndonjë bisedë bashk. Faleminderit. That was in just in our mother tongue, because Albanian is my mother tongue. Now, there's another question from Logan. Either can answer this one. Do you find that starting off in the industry as a QR tester for later becoming a potential lead in department or even production lead as a whole? Oof.
I feel like
Yeah, you
I
can go.
can't really, yeah, I feel like I can't really answer that question because I have like no experience with quality
Yeah,
assurance. Yeah.
you never know how it will go, right? I mean, you can start as a
Yeah,
QA tester and then become a potential lead in a department.
you can really
It's
start anywhere.
yeah. Important is to start though, and important is to start
Yeah.
that first job. That is the hardest one to get. With the rest, if you work hard, probably it will happen. Okay, so now I mean, I know that these kind of questions came a lot, but so I'm not going to go with the questions that are about what advice do you give to people, etc., because you already gave a ton of them. But I want to talk about something that is more related to your own experience, right? So one of my questions that I have is about sharing a challenging scenario that you encountered in your cybersecurity career and the valuable lesson that it taught you, if something like that happened, of course.
Yes, absolutely. I would say that probably the most challenging obstacle in my cybersecurity career wasn't necessarily like on like the learning side or like being a like learning those like cybersecurity skills or being a technical person. I feel that my real obstacle was that I'm a really I wouldn't say really, but I am a mostly introverted person, and I have been that way like my entire life. So when I started my journey into cybersecurity, I realized that that kind of life was like not going to cut it anymore. I really had to change my entire mindset in a sense to really put myself out there in the community. And I realized that communication is actually a very important skill to have in cybersecurity. That is probably one of the best skills to have. And it's definitely also a transferable skill. So really putting myself out there in the community, I knew I needed to work on really becoming an extrovert in a sense and working myself towards that as well. So it taught me that it's more than okay to be a little bit introverted at times, but when it comes to your career, I think it is best to always put yourself out there and go out, learn more, and talk to more people as well.
Yeah, I mean, because when it comes to that part, I haven't mentioned maybe before, but I have done a lot of events for Clarusway when it comes to introducing their boot camps. Okay, so one of the main thing that I tell to people, because that's how I used to think, is that it's not about, okay, I'm going to get into technology, into tech. It's going to be just me and the computer. And that's how it is. It really isn't, right? Like
Hmm.
communication is a very important part of it. So just thank you for bringing
Yeah.
that topic. Yeah, I thought the same at the very beginning. I was just going to be me and my dear computer. And this is I'm still a junior beginner, but when we talk to our team leads, they have to communicate with so many people, and they have to do it all day. So definitely is the communication is really important, and I'm really happy for you that it has changed the way how you perceive the word. Let's say. Now
Yeah, thank
there's
you.
another. There's another question which I find really interesting. You have gotten involved in women in cybersecurity, right? So what inspired you to become involved in women in cybersecurity? And like, is this community making any changes? I mean, even small ones, big ones, anything that you could mention?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, women in cybersecurity, or just women in STEM in general, is really like underrepresented a lot of the time. So, I feel that having that community of women in cybersecurity like made me feel that I can accomplish anything because I look at them and I see them as role models as well. And I also hope to be a role model as well in a sense, to show that like it doesn't matter like whether you're a man or a woman or anything else. I feel that it's really about how much you're willing to persevere through what you go through. So it's really about identifying with all those like-minded women that are really like breaking barriers and just keep going no matter what the odds are. Like for example, there are a lot of times where like I will go into one of my classes and there will only be like four other women and then the rest of them are men. Like that's just one example of how underrepresented women are. But I definitely feel that if we all come together and we really make a point of that and make some noise when it comes to that, we can definitely continue to break those barriers even more because diversity in cybersecurity in any field as well is just very important. Like having those different perspectives as well. Um, I feel that it's really important. So I think what the women in cybersecurity is doing is just also really important for the community, like the entire community, because it needs that um, different perspective in a sense to really bring everyone together.
For the long explanation. So since we were talking about the impact, right? And I mean, beside the community impact is the personal impact. And I can see maybe I'm not reading it right, but you're trying to leave your own mark when it comes to a digital world, and you are actively using LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn. So
Mhm.
so I want to get to that point to LinkedIn. Now, networking, as many people know, is really important, is crucial. It helps you find a job. I don't know, it helps you transfer between jobs. It even helps you feel better, right? Like you see a positive post and maybe feel better. So anyways, as I can see, you have built a strong profile. If you ask me, you got a lot of followers, and you post a lot. So, for those people who want to be successful when it comes to networking on platforms like LinkedIn, what are your strategies, or what would you advise to people to do to build a strong
I
network?
would say, yeah, that's a great question. So I think that the first thing anyone should do is to start by fixing up their profile. And what I mean by that is like fill in your biography, like tell a little bit about yourself. Maybe also put what role you're looking for as well. Um, Put a profile picture, create a cover image, like little things like that, just to get like a good start. Um, and then that is when I think you can start doing that networking. So from there, it's kind of really simple, in a sense, when after you have that profile, you can just go and interact with the community. So by interacting with the community, you can just go and connect with people. And then I would say when you're first connecting with someone, always try to send them a little message and say, thank you so much for letting me connect with you. Um, and hopefully you have some maybe like good questions. You can learn from those people as well. So really connecting with people is an amazing thing to do, as well as going out there and uplifting those people because they will always uplift you as well. So it's really about having a community that supports you. And I feel like the cybersecurity community, everybody supports each other, and it's just an amazing thing to do. And everybody wants to see you succeed. So if you ask for help, just one piece of advice there, don't go and ask people to help you get a job because like just out of the box, just asking them to help you get a job, like for example, within their company, because that's probably going to shut people down when it comes to having a actual discussion. And I feel like a lot of people have done that to me as well. And it's like I can't really get you a job. Like there isn't any like thing that I can do. But if you ask questions about how did that person get there, like what did they do, um, things like that, I feel like are really helpful.
I mean, even asking someone to get you a job is not that easy. Like to, first of all, it's difficult to get a job yourself. Secondly,
Exactly.
when you vouch, right? That's how you say in English for someone to get a job. It means that you know that person very well, and in cases
Mhm.
that the person doesn't turn out to be really good at something, you get your own, let's not say problems, but it may happen, right? In not very kind situations. So yeah, it's I mean, you just randomly asking people for a job, it's not how it works. You apply, you pass through 50, 100, 150 interviews, and then you land a job. Just I'm exaggerating, but yeah. Now we do have it's not a question, it's a greeting from Sezan Mahmood. Is 6:20 a.m. and I am from Bangladesh. Well, nice to nice
Hello.
to meet you.
That is
Actually,
very early.
yesterday I was I was watching a documentary about Bangladesh. It was about their independence in 1971. But so since we're talking about the Bangladesh, I just want to add that it's one of the most hardworking countries on earth, and their economy is growing really fast. So keep with a good job, Cezanne. That's what I can say from your message that you're from Bangladesh. All right. So now I want to get to another question since we do not have others. It's about your your focus, right? So when it comes to different cybersecurity areas, so which area is the most intriguing, the most interesting to you, and why?
I feel like that is kind of a difficult choice for me because I kind of think that they're all interesting. Um, but I would say that the most interesting, like for me right now, is like Security Operations Center, but mainly XDR. So XDR is part of the Security Operations Center. It's basically a tool. And I feel that it's really game changing, especially when it comes to like a lot of modern threats, and the amount of data that's coming in. So what it really does is bring all of these different security tools, your applications, your services, and brings it into a centralized platform. And then it also uses artificial intelligence and machine learning in the back end to do all the detections. So it really also minimizes alert fatigue for any cybersecurity analyst. So an analyst will just go and see the alerts pop up and they will have it already triaged for them. So this artificial intelligence will piece together any alerts that are also related to each other. So I feel like it's a real game changer, especially because of the artificial intelligence and machine learning piece, to do that detection. So that is the thing that I find most interesting right now.
Thank you. I mean, if there are people that find other parts interesting, you can let us know from the question and answers part. Let's try to make it a bit more conversational, right, guys? Now, I want to get into another topic, which is about managing time. Now, one of the biggest problem that people have, including me, if I talk about the time that I was working full time and then I was doing my boot camp, it was difficult to manage time. And especially when you are kind of addicted to your phone, which unfortunately I am, I use it a lot of time. Now, when it comes to you, it seems that you are still a student, right? So there
Mhm.
is the academical part. Then you work, right? And beside having a job, then you spare some time, or you spend time, not spare, sorry, spend time when it comes to self-learning. So trying to learn more because what you learn at school is never enough. How do you manage to do that? So how's your life?
That's a great question. And honestly, I still feel like it's always going to be a challenge to me. I feel like it's going to be a challenge to everyone because it's just so much things on your plate. But I really try to split up my day based on what I feel like accomplishing that day. So believe it or not, it's okay to not like do self-learning every day or just take maybe 1 hour of your day for self-learning, just so you feel that, okay, today I've made some progress towards this, and the rest of the time you can focus on whatever else you have to focus on, like work or your classes as well. So it's really about spreading out your workload over the course of the week and just not stressing over it all the time. Um, Even though I feel like that's definitely easier said than done. But I feel like if you're really just focusing on accomplishing a little bit at a time, then I feel like it can really ease your mind in a sense.
And I mean, I hope this is not too personal. So because I don't know, like if you live with your family, if you are with someone, or if you live alone. But for the time that I was doing my boot camp and working at the same time, my wife would always say, we kind of live. We not kind of we live at the same house, same home, but we don't really see each other much. It gets like kind of, complaints, let's call them complaints in quotes from her side that I was not spending enough time with her. And now that she's doing a course, I kind of feel the same about her. So did you have this kind of problems when it comes to your family or people that you are really close to?
Yeah, right now I'm living with my family and it kind of does feel like that in a sense, but I definitely try to like even though I like to do a little bit of self-learning still on the weekends, um, we still like to like go out and do something fun together, like on the weekends. So I still feel like part of the family. So it's really about um I feel like it definitely is really hard when it comes to that because sometimes um like my mom will come up to me, she's like, "You've been at your laptop all day." I'm like, "This is my job."
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing for a living and to provide for my family too. But I still love it. It's something that I really love to do, and I think that is one of the most important parts. But also still finding time um, for your loved ones is still just as important.
Yeah, some days can be really intense. That was the case with me today. I think I spent more than 13 or 14 hours in front of the computer, maybe even more, including the night. But it's not every day, right? Like the weekend
Mhm.
comes and then you try to find your time. And that would be my advice to
Mhm.
everyone. I mean, you should spare more time with your family. Now, I want to ask about tasks, right? So everyone has maybe everyone has a favorite project, a favorite task that they have worked and can talk about it. Is there any case, task, project that you are really proud of or that you liked working with?
That's a great question. So this one actually was kind of I wouldn't say it's a long time ago. It was like a year ago when I was first getting into cybersecurity and first
So
started my
I'm
journey.
so sorry. A long time ago, then you get a year ago. Okay.
No, yeah, a year. So yeah, not that long ago, even though it felt like this year passed by pretty fast. Um, so it was basically when I analyzed a phishing email, and it was from my own personal inbox. And I found out that it was actually a scam, but I also went as far as to do the analysis of it. So I also found out that the source IP was flagged and it was in some country offshore, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that is such a great experience. Um, because it was like the very beginning of my cybersecurity journey, and it I feel like it really proved to myself that this is something that I can learn. I feel like when everybody is starting in cybersecurity, they have that moment where they're like, am I going to be able to get into cybersecurity in a sense? So that was really the moment that I knew I would be able to do it, and like just by continuing my learning through courses and Try Hack Me, but also applying it in real life really felt rewarding to me.
Right. Since you mentioned this learning part, and the moment that you understood, right, that you can do it, have there been any people that are special to you when it comes to learning part? Because sometimes a teacher can really change a student's life. Um, it can be your parents, it can be a friend that you work together. Did you have any, or let's say any mentors that helped you when it comes to choosing the path, maybe, or the learning process? It's anything.
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like when I first started out on LinkedIn, Um, I obviously didn't start out with that many connections. So once I started connecting with people, that is when I really started thinking about um, who would be like my mentors in a sense. And I definitely feel like David Meese is definitely like one of my mentors. Like he's really big in the cybersecurity community. And in addition to that, he's just like a kind and supportive person. So I feel like if anyone has been a mentor to me, it's been him because I feel like I can just go and ask him like any question and he's going to basically help me get an answer to it. So he's been really helpful in my cybersecurity journey. In addition to that, he also had this 100 days of cybersecurity challenge, and I
Mhm.
feel like that also helped me get to where I am today. So basically, I would during that time when I was breaking into cybersecurity, I would go every day, um, put that hashtag on a post, where I learned about something in cybersecurity every single day. And I was doing that every day for 100 days straight. So anything that I learned about cybersecurity, I would post it every day, and it really gave me that exposure, as well as it really brought me to the attention of recruiters. So if anyone is looking to like get the attention of recruiters, definitely I would say use David Meese, his 100-day cybersecurity challenge. I definitely recommend it.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I'm not gonna do that because I'm not into cybersecurity, but anyone who is watching definitely do that. I mean, expose posting on LinkedIn really helps. I mean, recruiters really get to you. Of course, if you have a serious profile, if you know how things work, I mean, then definitely it helps. I just want to get into something like when I think about my process, there were a ton of people on YouTube that I may not remember, but I really want to thank them all, right? So there are some guys that I remember, like Brad Traversy, Cole Steele, Dev Ed, etc., and many guys, Indian YouTubers with not many followers, but like that gives some really great examples. So when it comes to YouTube, do you have any favorite YouTubers or I don't know, guys on Udemy that you really think that are helpful and people should follow?
Yeah, that is a great question. So like when it comes to like learning in cybersecurity, I like to also like watch YouTube videos and like read articles. For YouTube, I kind of just look at whatever is popping up on my homepage. I would say that the biggest example is like John Hammond. Like I love his videos. Also Cyberspatial is a great one as well. Those are just some of the popular ones, I would say. But honestly, I will watch a cybersecurity video from any YouTube channel. If it comes up on my like YouTube page and I think it's
Okay.
interesting, it's going to be like it like varies a lot. It's like sometimes it's like daily in the life of like a SOC analyst, and then it will go to exposing my machine to malware. So it's really like the entire like spectrum.
Yeah, and with when we talk about YouTubers, so like people that haven't that are not much into, let's say, or do not have a lot of experience or knowledge, should also be a bit careful when it comes to YouTube, right? I mean, because like there's a lot of information, and since you are watching from different people, it's not very well organized. So I mean, like you did with the 100-day challenge, or how was it? That is something that is very organized, right? Every day goes step by step. But like if you go randomly watching guys and you don't have the necessary information to filter it out, that may be a bit challenging. It happened to me a lot before starting the boot camp, and I was just watching videos on YouTube. But still, I mean, it's still better than nothing, right? It's information. Is you're gonna use it somewhere. So
Mhm.
just wanted to mention about that. Now, there's a very interesting question. By the way, I have to confess I haven't prepared those questions. Sam has. And one of the best questions is the one related to things that people, I mean, do not know pretty well or that have the misconceptions when it comes to cybersecurity. I mean, there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to technology in general, right? To tech, especially when you watch the movies with the hackers and how things go there. So can you talk about some like what are the biggest misconceptions when it comes to cybersecurity, and that you want to scream to people, no, it's not that way.
Yeah, that was a great question, honestly, and I feel like there is a lot of misconceptions when it comes to cybersecurity. But in my opinion, the biggest misconception is probably that only cybersecurity professionals need to know or need to worry about cybersecurity. So that is definitely something I wish I could like shout from the rooftop. Because like even individuals that are not like part of an organization, like an organization can get hacked, but also individuals can get social engineered. So really anyone can be attacked. So that is really something that I would like to point out to people, that it's like a reality check, kind of like attackers will and can target anybody and everybody. So if there is a chance to attack you, they are going to attack you. So everyone should be informed about it, even if it's not to the technical scale that like a cybersecurity professional would be. But still, everybody has to have their own knowledge on it and how to prevent it as well.
But especially when it comes to being able to recognize and identify what may seem like a fishy email, for example. I've got friends, it's 2023, they're still asking me about this. I mean, there's not much about cybersecurity, but about like a prince somewhere that wants to send money, the common scam. And of course, it happens a lot when people click on those emails that pretend to be from Amazon and then ask you to change your email or password, things that never happen. So at least people can learn or teach themselves how to be able to identify this, or how to be able to identify a genuine, real website from another one. Maybe this is a topic where it can be more, it could be more, and people can get educated more, because everyone can fall for that attack. It happens every day. Now
Exactly.
before ending this event that has been at least for me, it has been really fun. I wanna ask something last, which is about the future, right? So let's finish with the future. So looking ahead, what excites you more about the future of cybersecurity, and what trends do you foresee shaping the industry? So what is going to happen according to you in the future that excites you?
That is a great question. So I'm really excited to see how cyber defense like continues to develop and how artificial intelligence is also going to change that. So I definitely foresee that artificial intelligence is going to, I mean, it already is, and it's going to just continue being used by attackers in the cybersecurity space. But also, when it comes to cyber defense, more organizations are going to implement artificial intelligence when it comes to their cyber defense. So doing those detections and really boosting efficiency, um, as well as reducing alert fatigue for their analysts as well. So that is definitely what I see in the future. Those attackers are going to probably use artificial intelligence to like evade detection in a sense as well. So with those threats, they're just going to become even more powerful. So organizations have to become more powerful too, as well as incorporate that. Basically, whatever the attackers are doing, they're using artificial intelligence now. They have to implement artificial intelligence into their organization as well. So really to enhance their toolkit. Um, I also see that more individuals, like we talked about, the misconception that people, like normal people, don't need to know about cybersecurity. They do need to know about it, and they need to potentially get educated themselves, or they need to maybe go ask a cybersecurity professional and have just like a regular discussion about those different red flags that they can look for. So definitely there's also no such thing as 100% secure, because those threats are constantly changing. But working in the cybersecurity space, we also need to continue to evolve with those threats as well and continue to learn more and do better. So that's how I see it changing.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for everything. I do have just one last question that came to my
Mhm.
mind when it was you were talking about the AI and how it's going to shape. So some people may think that some jobs will be lost, but what do you think? Do you think that actually more and more people will be employed in cybersecurity? Do you think that the market is growing, or do you think that it will shrink?
I believe that the cybersecurity market is probably going to still continue to grow. There's still what people call a skills gap in a sense. Um, but at the same time, there's still a lot of organizations out there that are very hesitant to hire people when they don't have that necessary experience. So I hope that changes though, because they are probably going to be missing out on a lot of talent if they do that, because anyone can learn those cybersecurity skills. It's just a matter of like taking a chance on that person and training that person up in a sense. So I hope that changes.
Yeah, I hope to. I'm not really hopeful when it comes to the companies and the ways how people do business, at least what we have seen in the last 2000 years. But let's hope that it will change. And even if it doesn't, I mean, working hard will definitely give to people a job. I mean, or whatever people want to do. I mean, just the biggest advice that a person I could give to people is just work hard and you will
Mhm.
get the reward as
Yep.
at least especially when it comes to topics that or to areas when you are learning some very valuable and difficult to learn skills. So
Mhm.
just don't be afraid, guys.
Yep. I would also say never give up. Just
All
never
right.
give up. Keep
So
going.
Emily, thank you very much for this wonderful conversation. I mean, and I want to thank to everyone who listened to us, and a special thanks to guys who asked the questions. Yeah, it was a lovely conversation. Thank you for being here
Thank you
and
so much for
participating.
having me. It was a great conversation.
Okay, goodbye. Good night to everyone, but a good morning to the